Konnichiwa. Hey there, this is Ken from Singapore. In the second part of my Japan Autumn Dream series, I'll talk about my trip to Disneysea, Tokyo, and then about the streets of Narita town. It was my first visit to Disneysea, and I was a bit skeptical at first, thinking that it was, just for the kids. However, when I stepped into the theme park, I was pretty impressed by the scale of things, the amount of detail, attention put in. I must admit, as skeptical as I was, I fell under the spell of Disney. There was a drizzle in the earlier part of the day, but there was no damper to the festive mood. The rain was fine and fell like gentle mist, different from the usual downpours of Singapore. Disney is a big thing in Japan. Many people dressed up like their favorite cartoon characters. Some of the visitors were so into the mood that I couldn't make out if they were just visitors or staff hired by Disney to dress up and walk about. It was near Halloween when we visited Disneysea, and there were many charming decorations that added to the festive, or should I say magical mood. So we went around exploring Disneysea, just walking about and marveling at the fine details of the buildings and shops in the area. Then we got a bit hungry and decided to have lunch. There was an area fashioned in the style of the Grand Canal of Venice, complete with gondolas and gondoliers, so we went with the theme and went for Italian. Little did I know what treat we were in for. Real oven-baked pizza, sashimi carpaccio, seafood spaghetti, so good I sort of dimension warped to Italy, at least in my brain. So after lunch we continued exploring Disneysea and we headed towards the highlight of the evening, a fireworks show on water no less. But there was still some time before the event, so feeling peckish again, we made a detour to a cafeteria near the fireworks area. Had another pleasant surprise there, both by the decor of the cafeteria and the quality of food. Still very much under the spell of Disney, I went for something I usually don't. So while I'm not exactly a fan of pumpkins, I went for the chef's special pumpkin soup anyway. And it turned my assumptions about pumpkins upside down. This soup, I can have it all day and week and month, it's that good. All warmed up after the light refreshments, we made our way towards the fireworks show, and boy were the fireworks impressive. There's a glimpse of the show, but you've got to be there to experience it. So well, the day literally ended in a blast, or rather many beautiful blasts. The next day we headed towards the streets of Narita, famous for its historical temple and unagi cuisine, which is freshwater eel. Japan is known for unagi delicacies such as Unajyuu, which is broiled eel dipped in mouth-watering oriental BBQ-like sauce and heaped on top of fluffy white rice. There are many unagi restaurants lined up along the streets near the Narita-san temple. In the end, we settled on Kawatoyo, a special time-honored restaurant that does unagi and only unagi. This Kawatoyo restaurant takes in live eels and prepares it for broiling right at the shop front. Such is the extent of the insistence, the dedication on serving the dish at its very best. In this restaurant I had a few interesting encounters. First off was the menu, one single page in Japanese. Staring at it, I couldn't make out the difference between its three main dishes, namely the Unajyuu, the Jo Unajyuu, and the Tokujo Unajyuu. At first I thought, was it the quality of the unagi or something like that? My Japanese friend had to explain to me it was simply the amount of broiled eel served. Only then could I manage to make my order of Jo Unajyuu and Kimosui, which is a clear soup. So we found our seats and were chatting away, waiting for our orders, when I overheard something in English, a language I have not heard in days. Looking around, I noticed two tourists, friendly-looking Australians I think. They too seemed to be struggling with the menu and were also wondering what's the difference between the three main dishes, as I later on came to know. They seemed to be on the verge of giving up and going elsewhere, so I offered my help as a fellow traveller, and they too managed to make their orders after some ado. Everyone was happy, including the restaurant owner, no doubt. My Unajyuu order soon arrived, and boy oh boy was it worth every minute of the wait. Back in Singapore, the occasional unagi I had from sushi takeaway counters were mostly stringy, lean, and had those hard, prickly bones that get stuck in between your teeth. This unagi was melt in your mouth, and the bones it had were those tiny soft ones that don't prick your gums and were actually nice to chew on, adding on to the flavor. The rice was also fluffy and had just the right amount of chewiness. You've just got to try it to believe it. When you eat unagi in the Unajyuu style, the mouth-watering sauce drips from the unagi to the rice, imparts the flavor to the rice, makes the rice a treat in its own right. One bite, and it's so good, time slows down around you. Just thinking of it makes my mouth water. And to think I was never that much of a glutton. To finish off the meal, I sipped up the sui soup, and it was really amazing too. Kimo actually means innards, and sui I have no idea. So I was expecting some gooey gamey broth, but when I saw the sui for the first time, I was really surprised because it was so clear and thin like water. But one sip and it suddenly became my favorite soup, even more so than the pumpkin soup, because it was clear and light yet packs a punch of fresh seafood savouriness. I can drink tons of this stuff. And while I couldn't make sense of whether the kimo served to me was the heart or the liver or a bit of both, it was chewy to the right degree and had nice flavour despite being the stock for the kimo soup. It is believed that eating unagi gives you energy, and yes, I did feel full of energy and stronger against the cold despite the chilly weather. So after the awesome meal, I strolled along the streets of Narita for a bit, taking the serene sights of Narita Temple, the quaint rows of stores selling local fare like takana pickled vegetables, and traditional Japanese sweets like yokan bean jelly. It was a most pleasant day in a heart-fortifying, soul-warming kind of way. On this note, we have come to the end of the second part of my Japan Autumn Dream series. Hope that I've managed to convey some of the excitement, some of what impressed me so. 見ていただきありがとうございました。Thank you for watching. This has been Ken from Singapore. Peace out.